And welcome back. And today we're going to do our grand finale, which is going to consist of 3 recipes. I'm going to be doing a lemon pepper Parmesan chicken, and on the side is going to be sweet potatoes, and with some chopped up kale into it. But I'm going to start working on dessert though, because I need to let it chill in the fridge first. And it's going to be chocolate pudding, but there's going to be a little secret though to it. It's low sugar, or no sugar added, and there's avocados and bananas in it. And that's all that is really to it. So I'm going to get started right now with 4 avocados, because I'm going to make a big batch, because I'll be making dinner tonight. And all you do, put it in the middle, see if you can open it. Come on. Don't be a pain in the butt. There we go. Still not quite right, but I'll still give it a shot. And just take out the pit. It'll want to come out. The only way to check to see if avocados are ripe, there's a little nub. And all you do, you just peel it away, and if it looks like that, it's ripe. But if it's dark, it's not ripe enough yet. Mine's a little tad underripe, but that's okay because I can work with that. And the trick to getting it out, take a spoon and just go along the skin area, and it should come out just like that. And just put that in a blender or a food processor if you have one. Or if you don't, you can always use a hand blender as well. But I prefer a food processor, but my director doesn't have one, so I have to work with what I got. So I only used 2 avocados because there's probably not going to be that many of us, but instead I added 2 bananas, so it's going to be a chocolate banana pudding. So now I'm just going to add 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. You can use natural, you can use whatever kind you want. That doesn't make a big, huge difference. You can also use a little bit of a melted chocolate if you wanted to. And I'll add maybe a little bit of another one. Or make it 4. And I'm also going to add a little bit of vanilla, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. Pop her on. And ignore the noise. Put it on. I also added a little bit of milk to it. You can use almond milk if you want, but I just used regular. Now you have to excuse me. I am going on this recipe on a whim because I left my recipe book at home. So if you want to try this, use your best judgment. But that's the whole thing about cooking. It's using your best judgment. So I'll do a recap of this recipe. There's 2 avocados in this, 2 whole bananas, and I used 1.5 teaspoons, or even tablespoons too, depending if you really want it sweet, of pure vanilla. And I know I used 2 or 3 in the beginning of cocoa powder, but I went to 4.5 because that's how chocolatey everyone loves it, including me. So, because also you can still kind of sort of taste the avocado just a little bit, but once you garnish it later, serve, it will be excellent. So I'll just put this in a bowl. I'm just going to add some saran wrap around it and put it in the fridge until after dinner time. See? It's already starting to turn to jelly almost. And we are now going to start doing our sweet potato mash with chopped up kale. So I already have a pot boiled and all ready to go, and previously I actually cut up 3 large sweet potatoes, top, tailed, and peeled, and just putting the chunks into the boiling water and just gonna wait until they start getting mushy. And now we're gonna go start on our kale. I am actually going to get out a little small pot and put some water and I'm gonna start to boil it. This is a little trick that I like to do, and it's called blanching. So I'm just gonna chop off the bottom of the stalks. Actually, the part that we really want is the outside ends. So cut along the outside of the stem. That way we're left with these leafy bits, because that's what we are going to need. But the reason why I am blanching this kale is because it's very hard vegetable and it's very tough to chew on. But blanching it, you can actually make it really nice and green and bright, and it'll be it will be much easier to chew on, or in this case eat. Now that our pot of water is boiled, I am not going to cut up everything yet. So I'm just going to put it all into the water. And as you can see, it's slowly starting to turn brighter. That's what the hot water does. It slowly makes it turn green, and it just tenderizes it. So blanch it for about maybe 20 seconds. Thank you. And now I'm just going to take these out with a strainer and just put them into a bowl for now. And let them and just let them cool and just let them cool down and then afterwards dry them, and then afterwards you can chop them up into little tinier pieces. And there you have, everything's all blanched. And you can do this to broccoli. Excellent for broccoli, especially if you still like that crunch and it's not sloppy and all droopy. Put it down the sink later. Just want to check my sweet potatoes, see how they're doing. I'm going to take off the lid for now. It's boiling quite nicely. Put that down to medium. Same way you treat potatoes. Give them a poke, and if they go right through, they're good to be strained and mush her up. Add milk. What do we got going on? Let's check out our sweet potatoes, see how they're doing. I would say they're pretty much close to done. So they should all be done. So just turn off the burner. Get out a strainer. And carefully pick up this big heavy pot and just pour it out. I'm gonna put it, so I put all of the sweet potatoes back into our regular pot, and I'm just gonna add a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. Just gonna add about maybe, use your best judgment, but a lot of people like it nice and buttery, so maybe use about half of a tablespoon But if you're like me, I always go a little bit more just for good measure, which I sound like my grandma. And now let me find my masher. Thank you. And I forgot just to add a little bit of milk. But again, use your best judgment. And just start mashing together. Mix it around fairly well. Smooth. And now we're gonna go to our kale, which should be done. If it's still a little wet, that's totally fine. Put it all together in a big pile. Chop her up really good. Use your best judgment to determine if there's enough. Start putting into the pot. I think we're good. Now we're just going to put it all in there. All of it. Every single one. Every single one. And including the ones on the knife, because that's all the good stuff. And we're just gonna slowly mix it all in together. Get it all nice and pretty. Just gonna get myself a nice little serving bowl. Hot. Now, sweet potato is a little stringy too, but it's really fibrous and it's just really good for you. Make sure you get everything. And it also helps to scrape at the pots really well to help the cleaning process much better. And that, my friends, is sweet potato and kale. And we will do our chicken next.